Welcome back to another episode with Systeme.io. Today we're talking about the success story with Rucheli Berry with Get the Tech Out of Here. She was a software engineer turned tech specialist and launch strategist for digital entrepreneurs. After spending years helping people as a career coach and launch strategist, she decided to go all in with her Get the Tech Out of Here implementation, where she uses the design, build, and launch strategy, which really is an implementation checklist that she uses to help people get their business out of their mind, off the Google Docs, and online. And after it, you're empowered. Coaches, course creators, and consultants getting their business online without the headache of tech. But not only is she this tech strategist, she's also a mom of four and a loving wife. So can't wait to jump into this episode with her where we talk about work-life balance, all the cool automation things that every software nerd loves to talk about. So I hope you stick around and listen to this episode with Rucheli Berry from Get the Tech Out of Here. Welcome back to another episode of Success Stories with Systeme.io. We have an amazing guest that I can't wait to dive into learning about her engineering background and how she is helping purpose-driven entrepreneurs get online. Welcome to the podcast, Rucheli Berry from Get the Tech Out of Here.
Thank you so much, Holly. I'm so excited to be here.
All right. So let's dive right into what it is that you're doing and kind of like the launch pad that got you onto building an online business with Systeme.io.
Yeah, so my story goes back about 7 years in online business. Get the Tech Out of Here is not my first online business. My first online business was actually a career coaching business where I was helping women get into the tech industry the way that I did. And so that was kind of my first foray into the online business world. And I had started a course and a membership and did everything wrong the first time around and really had to learn everything the hard way. And one of the things that I had to learn the hard way was how to simplify my systems, because like a lot of people out there, I had so many half-built funnels across so many different platforms that I was paying way too much money for.
Mm-hmm.
And it wasn't until I really consolidated and simplified my entire online business setup that I started to see actual success in my business, because everything just worked better when I was all in one place. And so that experience actually led me to what I do now, which is taking all of my tech background and the years I have as a systems and a software engineer to help coaches and course creators and digital entrepreneurs who are not as technical as I am figure out the tech in their online business so that they can get out into the world and make this world a better place.
Ooh, okay. A lot to unpack there. So you said 7 years ago you started. What was the catalyst during that time for you to say, I want to take my knowledge and start teaching people online? Like what was happening in your everyday life that, spurred that on?
Yeah, so my degree is in systems engineering, and that's different than what I actually ended up doing in my career, which was more of software engineering. And so I had to go from working in a factory into teaching myself how to code and then eventually getting into the tech industry with a remote job at a company I had never heard of before getting into the industry. And so that whole process of completely pivoting my career was something that I happened to do very well and ended up having a lot of people asking me, how did I do that? How did I teach myself how to code? How did I learn how to do software engineering interviews when that wasn't something that I was ever trained in? And so I had friends coming to me, and then my friends were referring their friends to me. And before I knew it, I was doing a lot of one-on-one coaching, helping people get jobs in the tech industry, just based off of what I had learned in my 3 years in the industry of growing my own career kind of from scratch in something I wasn't officially trained in. And so after a few dozen people had ended up coming to me for one-on-one coaching, I'm like, this really isn't sustainable to keep doing it this way. What if I did that whole online course thing that I've been getting ads for, because now I'm coaching. So as soon as you start coaching, you get ads for online business courses and stuff like that. I'm like, what if I did that? What if I just taught a whole bunch of people at once instead of repeating myself over and over again with every single person I worked with? And so I turned it into a course, and it actually totally bombed the first time because I created the course that I thought people should have instead of what people were actually looking for. So that was kind of a lesson learned the hard way. But it really did teach me how to market what it is that I do a lot better from having that experience.
Wow, wow, wow. Okay, I'm sure some people just had some unlocks, right? Where you pivoted while you were still in the workforce, you pivoted
Mm-hmm.
to something that you were more passionate about, which means if someone's there right now and they want to pivot to being online, you
Yeah,
can. And you can
absolutely.
create something. But you said
Yeah.
something also very important. You kind of messed up in the beginning.
Oh,
And so
totally normal.
yeah, totally normal. It's okay. And that failure is not the end of the world. It's getting back up and figuring out what you did wrong or how you can fix it and keep moving forward. So, with that being said, what did you figure out from there? You said marketing, but what else
Mhm.
did you do moving forward? You lots of tools, or were you already thinking of simplifying? We could go in a lot of directions. So,
We could go in a
what did
lot of
you
different
learn?
directions with this. So I think one of the biggest things that I learned is similar to what you just said. When we're working in the online business world, and this is something that, again, I had to learn the hard way over the course of years of doing that first business and also the second one, everything that we're doing really has to be approached as an experiment. And as an engineer and a scientist, that's very easy for me to do. So it took a while to figure out that's what I should be doing. But once that clicked for me, to be able to look at every launch that we're doing as an experiment, to be able to look at every promotion that we're doing as an experiment, to be able to look at every email that we're doing as an A/B test, right? These are things that we do in
Mm,
the marketing world. And to be able to detach from the results. Because when a scientist is going
mm,
and conducting an experiment, there's no such thing as failure. You're just gathering data, right? And whatever the data comes back and says, you learn something from that, which means it's automatically a success. And once we can really get that into our heads, which is kind of counterintuitive as a human being, because we have results that we want to achieve. And if we don't achieve those results, it's obviously a failure as a human being. But when we can really get that into our head of, no, this is an experiment I'm running, and no matter what, I'm going to get valuable
mhm.
data from this and approach it more like a scientist. That makes the whole business building journey so much easier because less of our
Yes.
personal worthiness gets dragged into the equation at that point.
Oh, you're speaking to me, man. Oh, man. You probably just, again, unlocked a lot of strongholds people may have when it comes to building online. That if you can take yourself out of the equation, detach from it, and use it as an experiment. So
Yeah.
you talked about launching.
Mm-hmm.
And already I think we're moving right into what you're doing already. So talk about, the transition of the two businesses that you did beforehand to where it is now, because you mentioned launching, and I really want people to hear that.
Yeah. So I think, first of all, to kind of set the stage, there's a lot of different ways that people talk about things in the online business industry. And so the word launch means a lot of different things to a lot of different people. And the way that I talk to my students about it is a launch is anytime you are putting your offer in front of your people. And that could be an email, that could be a social story, that could be a webinar or a challenge or something bigger, but it also is those little tiny moments in the cafe when you're talking about what it is that you do to someone who might be a good fit for your stuff. And so the way that we approach it inside our program is like anytime you're putting your stuff in front of the people who it's a good fit for, you're launching. And that means you're running an experiment that you can learn from. And then you take your data from whatever happens in that launch experiment and you look at the numbers and then you decide what to do next, right? And so that engineering nerd brain of mine, it definitely comes into it when we're talking about launching, because if we're looking at numbers and making data driven decisions, again, we get to kind of detach ourselves from, did it work? Did it not work? Am I worthy of doing this? Am I not worthy of doing this? And we're able to really get information that we can then go do something with when we circle back around, because every launch is really just a cycle. And so when we do that launch experience of putting our offer and ourselves out there on the internet and we get that data back, we make a decision based off of that data and we just go try it again. We run a different experiment with a different hypothesis, right? And each time we do that, we get to learn. But inside Design, Build, Launch, which is my main program, what we talk about is like, can we structure our entire business in this experiment kind of way where let's do what we do in the engineering world and ship the MVP, ship the minimum viable product. What is the least that you can do to get it out in front of your people so you can start helping people and start making money fast? And then we can layer on the complexity later. And so one of the analogies that I like to use, again, engineering nerd here, is like it's like a rocket ship, right? And if you have a
Mm,
rocket ship that you are trying to launch and you load that sucker up with the fanciest, most expensive equipment ever, and you just keep adding more and more and more and more stuff on, it is now so heavy that it won't actually leave the launch pad. And I think that was the
Mm.
mistake that I made in my first business is I was using the best software. I was using the best course platform. I was using the best email system. I was using the best checkout page. And I was paying over $500 a month for all of that software
Mm-hmm.
because I heard from other people in the industry that those were the best things. And I wanted to be doing
Hmm.
it the right way. And then all of a sudden I had a rocket ship that was too heavy to get off the launch pad. And it wasn't until I
Ooh.
cut all of that stuff that I was able to actually turn that business around and go from like really, really struggling because everything was falling through the cracks and all of the integrations were breaking and nothing was actually working the way that I wanted it to a $10,000 launch in 27 days just by simplifying everything way, way, way down from what I had been trying to do.
Wow, wow, wow. So now that you have trimmed away all that extra tech, all
Yeah.
the stuff weighing down the rocket ship, and you simplified,
Mm-hmm.
what is the rocket fuel that gets it flying into the air? Was it System.io? Did you find it at this point, or did you stumble into it?
It's so funny because I actually stumbled into it. When I simplified my first business, it was before I even had heard of Systeme.io. So I cut out all of the junk and like just went all in on one platform. And it wasn't System because I hadn't even heard of it yet. But when I switched my business to doing one-on-one tech work, helping other coaches, before I officially started Get the Tech Out of Here, I was doing more consulting kind of stuff. And I had people asking me about System. Like, have you heard of this thing? Why is it so
Mm.
affordable? Is it legit? Right. And so, as the engineer that I am, like, I test everything so rigorously before I make any decisions. And so, I was actually parallel running my business on System and on the other platform that I was on that shall not be named, right? I was parallel running my business on both of these platforms at the same time to test everything out because to me it was wild that like there's no way that I could take everything I'm doing with $500 a month of software and go do it for $47 a month instead. That doesn't make sense to me, right? So I had to
Yep.
test it, and I found that like 98% of what I was doing on that other platform could be done for $47 a month on System. And after 6 months I just switched my entire business over, and I started switching my clients over after that. And people were
Oh,
just
wow.
floored with how much money they were saving just by
Hmm.
switching all of their platforms over and condensing it all down into something that's honestly easier to use than whatever we were using before too. Right?
Yeah.
So for me that really was the rocket fuel because once I moved to System, I was able to go from one-on-one tech consulting work, and I was able to build out my program design build launch in a way that I could
Yes.
hand basically what I was doing in my one-on-one work to multiple clients and just walk them through it. And so right now the way that it's structured is like I take all of the stuff I used to do one-on-one with my clients and I just give them a package. And with the System, you click a link and you import the entire funnel. You import the entire email sequence. Everything just gets like magically shows up in your System account, which for me, helping clients with tech is like, that's a miracle to be able to give them a link
Mm-hmm.
to click and it all just shows up in their account. And then we help them customize it. Amazing.
I know, it's like magic. Poof.
It is.
You know? And for someone who's not techie, it
Exactly.
is like magic, and that's who you're
It is.
speaking to. So that transition, you said that you were building it parallel and that you put everything in there and you started to be able to help them and really implement things for them. Is this
Yeah.
where things became get the tech out of here, or were you transitioning still?
Yeah, so Get the Tech Out of Here was the name that I created for my business when I decided to start doing one to many instead of just one to
Okay.
one work, right? And so it started originally as a membership, and then I eventually developed a full course, not really a course, I call it a tech implementation program instead of a course because we're
Mm.
really on implementation instead of just learning more information. But I was able to create that course with the membership in conjunction so that people have everything that they need and then they get the support that they need to go with it all in one place. And so that really was rocket fuel for me because that was
Yeah.
what allowed me to go from being able to serve one or two clients at a time to having a membership with 140 people in it. It's a big difference, right?
Wow. Wow. Being able to serve one-on-one to serving 1 to 140. That is
Yeah,
phenomenal.
exactly.
Well, let's get a little techie and talk
Yeah.
about all the bells and whistles inside of System.io. So we've talked about being able to build out funnels completely and giving it to your clients with one click and it's implemented for them, the customization. But even just looking at your website, I love it. It's phenomenal. What a great use of the colors and the backgrounds. Even
Yeah.
your
Thank you so much.
copywriting is amazing. And the packages, how you've got it all, laid out. So there's a lot of like the funnels built in as well. So is that part of the education when you help your clients designing it where it looks as beautiful as yours?
Yeah, so what we provide our clients with is actually what we call the business quick start funnel. And we tell people not to worry about the whole 7-page website with the full blog when they're just getting started, because a lot of people really get trapped there and like
Yeah.
stuck in perfection mode, right? As the human tendency is. And so we give them one funnel that has a 1-page website, an opt-in page, an opt-in thank you, a sales page, a checkout, and a checkout thank you, privacy policy, and terms and conditions, all in one funnel. And so it's everything that they need to start their entire online business in one funnel. They click the link, it imports the whole thing into their account, right? And so now they're set up and everything they need is all in one place inside their one system account. And it's just mind blowing to a lot of my clients who are coming from all of these other platforms to be able to just see their entire business structure on one page in the system funnels area and know that they have everything that they need literally within 15 seconds of clicking that link, which is amazing.
So when they click that link, now that is a funnel that they've clicked and
Mm-hmm.
implemented.
Yeah.
And with that, do you already have some of the automations and tags also connected for them? Like whenever that funnel's clicked, tags and stuff like that? Or is that some of the customization you hold their hand through that part?
So if there's a way to set up tags automatically, I definitely want to get to that point. I haven't heard of that quite yet. Right now it's funnels or email sequences, right? And so we let them import both of those. And then we have literally click by click tutorials that we provide for every single step of customizing every single page and like connecting their custom domain and connecting Stripe and setting up their calendar. So like literally click this button, now do this drop down, now click this button, now hit save, like click by click, because it's designed for people who really are not technical at all. So we
Mm-hmm.
walk them through the whole customization process and setting up their tags, and when they need to upgrade to the $17 system account so that they can add more automations, helping them with all of the automations that they need so that their opt-in leads to their sales, leads to product delivery. All of that stuff is walked through in those click-by-click tutorials as they're working through the program. And the program's laid out that literally is just lesson by lesson by lesson by lesson by lesson. And at the end, you have a business. So,
So at the end, you have a business.
yeah.
And so really leaning into that implementation. So you said this was through the
Yes.
quick start guide. Is that
So this
right? You
is
called it
our
the quick?
business quick start funnel is what we provide. Yeah, for our
Okay.
clients.
Is that in your design, build, and
That's
launch
in our design
course?
build
Like,
launch. Yeah. So we have
okay.
a 15-minute quick start that we walk people through the second that they join the program. In there, we help them create their own Systeme.io account. We help them implement or import one of the 4 different designs that we have for that business quick start funnel. So they pick whichever design they like best, they import it into their account. And then the last thing that they do as part of that 15-minute quick start is they get to know the custom AI tools that we've built. So I have a whole suite of custom
Mm.
AI tools that I've built for my clients that I like to call Biz Bestie. That's what we call them, bizbestie.ai. And those tools are implemented straight inside every single lesson in design build launch. So as they're learning about client avatar work, there's a bot that helps them with their client avatar work. As they're learning about
Wow.
brand boards, there's a bot that helps them pick their brand board colors. As they're learning about offer structure, there's a bot that helps them flesh out their offer structure. And then when they get to the part where they're actually customizing that quick start funnel, their 1-page website has a bot on there that's like, okay, now paste your avatar work that you did in the previous lesson, and it writes all of their website for them, right? So every single lesson with every single funnel page has its own custom AI bot that I've built and trained with my engineering nerd brain that allows them to not have to worry about becoming prompt engineers on top of everything else that they're already doing in their business.
Okay. Where do I sign up? For anyone listening right now, that is probably blowing their mind. They probably have half of it up here, but trying to get it from even just from their brain down to a Google Doc. You
Yeah.
actually help them implement that too. So let's talk about the people that you are helping. Your client avatar. I saw
Yeah.
purpose driven, those who are coaches, course creators, content creators. Who are you speaking to? Who is this course built for?
This course is built for coaches, course creators, or digital entrepreneurs who feel like they've been stuck in DIY funnel hell for way too long. And so they've been either taking courses on how to start a business and they've learned what to do. And then they
Mhm.
open up their computer and try to actually do it. And they're like, ready to throw their laptop out of a window, right? So
Mm-hmm.
people who have taken those courses that know what, but not the how, or people who have been trying to figure it out themselves for a really long time already. In general, I'm not speaking to people who are like brand new to the idea of an online business. These people have tried stuff and they're frustrated and they're ready to just get it done fast. Those are my
Yeah.
people. So a lot of them, again, have taken, those $2,000 or $3,000 courses from big names in the online business industry, and they learned all of the strategy, and they can't figure out how to implement that strategy and turn it into action. And that's what Design Build Launch is really built for.
Oh, wow. Wow. So, design, build, and launch is one of your offers. Do you have some other offers as well available on Get the Tech Out of Here?
Yeah, so Design Build Launch is our main program. And then we also have Simple System Society, which is our tech support membership. So inside Design Build Launch, you get the templates, the tutorials, and the AI tools. And then the Simple System Society is the tech support. And so I've actually built out a whole team to support our students and our clients inside there. We have 2 calls every single week where people can hop on and share their screen and get live tech support from a tech expert who also knows the whole business strategy side of things. And then we have a private community also hosted inside Systeme where they can post their questions in between those calls and get a 1 business day turnaround. And so we're really there with them every single step of that implementation process inside the membership. They get 90 days inside Simple System Society when they join Design Build Launch, and then they can stay for however long they want afterwards.
Oh, that's wonderful. So,
Yeah, so
you can build a business in 90 days with all of that
I
for
mean, we
sure.
structure our program around 30 days actually, and we give people a full 90 days just in case they've got other life stuff going on. I'm a mom of 4, so I totally understand being busy, and we built our program to be done in like 15 to 20-minute chunks because I'm a busy person and I know a lot of my ideal clients are busy people as well. And
Yeah.
so some people have busy lives going on and they can't sit down and spend 2 to 3 hours every day working on their
Hmm.
business, right? And so it's really designed around however much time you have, make it happen. We've had clients go through it in 7 days. It's built around 30 days, but we also have that full 90-day window for support for people who are taking a little bit longer intentionally because of life balance.
All right. So, simple enough to push it out in 7 days, but
Mm-hmm.
you give people the flexibility and flux
Exactly.
that goes with the
A little
work-life
wiggle room.
balance.
Yeah.
Yeah, little wiggle room. You're speaking my language. My hyper focus will come in for 6 hours and I won't touch it for 6 days. So you're speaking my language. Well, speaking of that work-life balance, and you were talking about the 4 kids and
Yeah.
um, actually running this full time, how do you do that? How are you able to, well, continue to consume, acquire information, apply it, actually implement it the way that you're doing full time, and still be a wife and a mom?
Yeah. So I think there's 2 main pieces of that for me. Well, let's say 3 main pieces of this. So the first is ruthless prioritization. I
Ooh.
am very, very big on cutting down my to-do list to 3 things that actually have to get done. And everything else is a
Mm,
bonus. And so if I look at my list of 25 items and I can't pick 3 that actually are going to move the needle forward on my business, so not just busy work, but things that are going to actually move the needle forward on my business, then I walk away from it for 15 minutes to clear my head and then come back and pick 3. And I will not start working until I am very clear on what my priorities are for the day because I'm busy. I don't have time to be like messing around and just doing stuff that's not actually going to move the needle forward, right? So part of that is a main priority for me is creating systems, simple systems that work for me and for my business. And so I automate as much as humanly possible. My workflows inside Systeme are a little wild, how much is automated and how much people move into the right sequence completely without me touching it ever. So that is something
wow.
that's really, really important to me because I don't want to have to be manually following up with people when they're at a certain touch point. I want that to all happen automatically, and it does. The other piece of that, besides prioritization and building really simple, really effective systems that are highly automated, is I've also built out a team. Right. And so that was something that was really scary for me in the beginning because I think every new entrepreneur, every entrepreneur who's at the beginning stages of starting another online business, even, this isn't my first rodeo, but still starting a new business, you go through this process of like, I'm a kind of afraid to let go of control of my
Hmm.
business. I think a lot of us are control freaks, myself included. And so being able to let go of some of that control is a little bit scary. And B, do I have what it takes to be actually managing people and leading people
Hmm.
and paying people on a consistent basis? Like that can be a little bit scary. But
Yeah.
what I've found personally is that as we grow our business, we have to look at what our revenue goals are, right? And so if we have a revenue goal of $100,000 for the year,
Hmm.
divided by 2,000 ish working hours, right? So if I'm not doing a task that is worth $500 an hour, right, then I'm wasting money and time. And so
Mm.
I need to
Yes.
look at the tasks that are actually going to get me to that revenue goal based off of how much my time is worth. And if I'm spending time messing around in Canva when I could hire someone to do that for me,
Yeah.
is that a $500 an hour task, or is that a 10 or 15 or $20 an hour task? And where am I spending my time? Right. And so I've built out a team that I love and that I trust over the years, to take more and more off of my plate so that I'm able to dedicate myself to the things that are actually delivering for my clients and growing my business,
Moving the needle.
moving the needle forward.
Yeah. So, how big is your team? That was the question I was like, there is a question. How big is your team now? Oh,
Yeah, so I have 4 people that are working for me part time. I have a community engagement manager. She's amazing. She's in our community and in our inbox answering questions from our clients all day and just encouraging people to keep taking the next step and keep sharing their
yes.
wins and keep showing up. And then I have a tech VA that I hired to help me stop doing my own funnels because I am a funnel expert, but at a certain point in your business, you got to outsource it. So a lot of the things
Hmm.
that we're the best at, we have to find other people that are also good at so that we can focus on the things that are actually moving the business forward, which for me
Yeah.
is no longer building my own funnels, right? And so I have
Mm.
someone on my team that now helps me with my own tech so that I can be helping my clients instead of dealing with my own funnels. Then I have a general VA who does a lot of the repetitive manual stuff that just has to get done in business, like
Yeah.
taking the content that I create and turning that into newsletters, uploading our replays from our member calls to our portal, and all of that sort of stuff. And then I just recently hired a social media VA to help with that side of things because I didn't want to touch social, but I knew I needed to have it. So I've got a small but mighty team. They're all working part-time, and we're all, on calls at least once a week, syncing up with each other and making sure that everyone knows what it is that they're supposed to be doing and that they have what they need to keep moving forward. So it's been a fun journey in leadership also.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Once you become a entrepreneur, you wear all the hats from the plumber to the
Yes.
CEO, So, and then a good leader is willing to do that, right? Learners are leaders. So you're continuing learning. You learn how to do those funnels. You have someone now implementing that. You said something interesting about automating as much as you possibly could, and that your funnels and automations are kind of crazy on the back end. For someone in listening and really into System.io, probably even has something started, what have you done? What any tips or tricks or, hidden gems are you using in your funnels to automate life so you can live life?
Yeah. So one of my favorite things that I'm doing right now, I do live workshops. We do at least 2 live workshops every month. So that's how we get out to new people and bring new people into our world and find new people that we can help launch. And for those workshops, we have all sorts of automations that are running in the background. But I have a particular workflow that I am in love with and a little obsessed with, where when someone registers for our workshop, they're getting all of the tags that they need. They're getting the confirmation email that they need. They're also getting a confirmation SMS. I am obsessed with the fact that we can
Ooh.
send SMS straight from System now. It's amazing. So they're getting a confirmation text message as well. And then they're getting put into a hold pattern because one of the things that we can do in System workflows is hold until a particular date and time. And so for
Mm.
each workshop, we have hold until the morning of the workshop. And so these people are
Wow.
piling in and then getting held until that date. And then that allows everyone to move on to the next stage of the automation at once, which allows us to utilize things like drip campaigns that you wouldn't normally be able to do because drip is designed to kind of have everyone go through at their own pace. But if you hold
Mhm.
them all until a certain date and then put them all in the drip campaign at once, then it works, right? So we have
Wow.
that's triggered at the morning of, they go into a specific drip campaign. Then in the workflow, they're continuing to get, it's an hour until our workshop as an SMS reminder. We're going live in 2 minutes as an SMS reminder. And then all of the replays are automated and scheduled to go out on their own as well. And so we've really taken all of the manual work that goes into a big launch and
Yeah.
automated almost all of it. So it takes us about 30 minutes now to get ready for the next workshop, and then System just handles the rest of it.
My mind just blew up because I'm thinking of webinars and the traditional,
Mm-hmm.
using email marketing and having to manually actually put the dates in, and you can't be prepared for the next one. So right after you end one, this
Yep.
is truly an evergreen webinar that's just ready to go. And are these workshops evergreen or are they live?
So I'm doing them live. I think right now, with the era that we're in with AI, there's something special about getting in front of people live. There's a certain know, like, and trust factor that I think people really need right now because of AI. So I enjoy showing up live and actually having conversations with people and being able to answer their questions that they're putting in the comments and that whole
Yes.
interaction process. So we're doing live webinars, but we're running it on an evergreen kind of model. And so an hour after that last workshop ends, like, we run our workshops at 12 p.m. and 5 p.m. Pacific on Mondays. An hour after the 5 p.m. Pacific ends, we spend 30 minutes and flip it over for the next one. And then we're already taking people in for the next workshop in 2 weeks, an hour after the Monday workshop ends. So it's running on evergreen basically, but I'm showing up live once every 2 weeks.
Once every 2 weeks. That's
Yeah.
phenomenal. So, getting your leads, do you run
Mm-hmm.
ads or is this organic so far? How are you getting people to these
It's a
webinars?
mix. We have some organic. We have a really strong affiliate network. Our members really love the program, and so they share it with their friends and with their business peers as well. So we do have a fair amount of organic traffic in coming in from that, as well as certain Facebook groups, as well as our YouTube channel. It's not as active as it should be, but I do have a YouTube channel where I do tutorials and also kind of behind the scenes business stuff. So we have some organic coming in from that, but I also run a lot of paid ads, and I've found this is something that I had to learn in my career coaching business to get in front of people. I've found that running paid ads has just been rocket fuel, like we were talking about before, for
Yes.
my business, because the number of people that you can get in front of is just so much higher than when you're trying to do it organic, unless you happen to do the whole social viral thing, which for me is not my strong suit. I'd rather just put money in the machine and know that I'm going to get a certain number of leads back from that, which has worked really well for us.
That's phenomenal. Yes, you're right. There's a lot of people who just don't have the time. It's like I don't have time to make 100 videos and
Yeah.
500 videos to hopefully go viral because someone likes my
Yeah, exactly.
personality. All right, and as we're, kind of talking about rocket fuel for your ship, what has System.io done perhaps financially for you as, as a wife and a mom, with 4 kids? Have you seen a return on investment once you, actually went fully in with this all-in-one tool?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, besides the savings, which again, I was going from 550 a month down to 47 a month, that's a big savings for our family right there. But what it's allowed me to do in terms of just helping my clients has allowed us to really accelerate this business growth. And so we started this business almost exactly 2 years ago. Our first year in business, we went from 0 to 30K right away.
Wow.
That was great. And that was just for our courses. That wasn't counting the one on one work that I was still doing. That was just for our group programs. And then in year two, we went from 30K to 95K worth of group program sales. Again, not counting our one on one work as well. So that sort of, 3x growth at that level is
Yes.
really, really exciting, and something that I think is really only possible when you have systems that are working really well for you. And like I teach my students, having a simple foundation and a simple funnel in your business changes everything, because simple systems equals simple success.
Ooh, simple systems, simple success.
Yep.
Is that what you, wow, I like that. I like the simplicity of that. You
Exactly.
mentioned year 1 and year 2. So how many years have you been using System.io and seen this growth?
Yeah, so I switched to System about 3 years ago with my old business, right? And then
Oh,
shut that one down, and then started this one 2 years ago. And so it's been a wild ride, and I feel like we're just really taking off. We had a six
yeah.
figure year this past year, but we've already seen we've almost doubled our monthly revenue already in the first 2 months of this year. So it's really just the beginning for us. And we're really excited to continue getting in front of more people and helping more people get their stuff out to the people who need it, right? This world needs all the help it can get right now. So the more coaches and course creators that we can get in front of the people that need what they have to offer, the better everyone is. So it's
Wow,
exciting.
wow. I'm so glad I asked that. I think anyone listening, it sounds like you've been using System.io for a minute and you're like, no, we're pretty much still in the baby phase. And so that I think there's a lot of hope and inspiration for a lot of other people. So perhaps someone's interested in your design, build, and launch plan. Can you kind of give us the rundown of what you would get? I think I looked on your landing page and there's two options. So for anyone listening, just kind of fill them in.
Yeah, so again, Design Build Launch is our tech implementation program, and it's a three-phase process: design, build, and launch. And throughout that, we give you what we call our 4 launch accelerators, which is our plug-and-play templates, our click-by-click tutorials, our pre-trained AI tools, and live personal tech support, right? And so with those 4 launch accelerators, we're guiding you through a 30-day launch process. Can you do it faster? Yes. Can you take 90 days instead? Absolutely. But that's how we've structured the program, right? And then, like we said, we can move you into the Simple Systems Society afterwards for support for however long you need it. But the program is really designed to take you from idea to income in 30
Mm-hmm.
days. And so we actually have a free workshop called Idea to Income in 30 Days, where we go over the entire design, build, launch process and what it looks like to have a simple AI powered plug and play launch system that can get you finishing your funnels and launching your offers and making money in just 30 days.
Wow. Amazing. Now, when I was looking on the page, there is the simple system, but then also if they want to upgrade, you could help them customize everything as well for an extra elevated upgrade, right?
Yeah, so we do have done for you services as well. We actually don't
Mm-hmm.
do a lot of advertising for those because we're very picky about who we work with one on one. And so most of our one on one clients are people who have been through our program. And we actually make that intentional because we don't
Mm-hmm.
like the idea of people being dependent on us. And so we structured Design Build Launch for people to feel empowered and in control of their online business. So when we do one-on-one done for you work nowadays, it's usually with people who already know how to use the system and have already launched and are looking for our help to make their next launch even better and even faster. And so we do have one-on-one work that is available, but our focus is really on making sure that coaches and course creators feel like they don't need to pay someone for every little change to their website. They don't need to find someone to get them ready for their next launch, that they feel empowered and they feel in control and they feel like they're able to confidently create their own online business.
Oh, well, you answered a question I had, which was, do people come back like, hey, I need to fix this or I need to do that? What you're saying is you're not only helping them implement, you are empowering people
Yes.
to run their business from the inside
Yeah.
out.
Yeah, exactly. And those are honestly my favorite testimonials and case studies are when people come back and they say, I never thought tech would actually be kind of fun. And I love that when people come back and say that because it means that they feel not only confident, but they also feel like they're enjoying part of their business they always hated, right? And if we're able to do that for people who are putting stuff out in the world that helps other human beings make this world a better place, like how cool is that? That I get to use all of my tech know-how and all of my engineering background to have that ripple effect out in the world of making this world a better place.
Wow, 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 wow. I am so excited to see the growth of Get the Tech Out of Here and how you're going to be
Yeah,
able to help people, well, and be empowered in their business. So as
exactly.
we land this rocket ship, I always ask a couple of the same questions. How would you describe success at this point in your business?
How would I describe success for me or in general?
For you. Mm-hmm.
For me. So, success in my business is showing up, having fun, and helping people. That's it for me. It's like the more I can show up and help people, everything else just falls into place. Right. And so I really look at it as, am I showing up from a place of service? If I'm showing up from a place of service and I'm having fun and I'm helping people, then that's a success. And the money will follow that, and the impact will follow that, and the business growth will follow that. Because, like you were talking about before, I see myself as being here to empower people and show people what's possible in business and in
Yes.
life, right? And so anytime I'm doing that, I feel like I am being successful and everything else just happens naturally.
Oh, I love that. So this isn't just a job for you. This isn't just a business. This is who you are. This is
Yeah.
you personified. I want to help people with the expertise that I have. So with that expertise, how would you describe System.io in one word?
Simple. That is my whole jam. So the simple systems, the simple success, like System makes that simplicity possible in a way that no other platform that I've used has ever made that possible.
Yes, yes. So with that, our last question is, and I'm sure you hear this on your webinars every other week, right?
Yeah.
Hey, I'm right here. I want to do it, but I just don't know how to get started. What would you give someone who's sitting right there on the edge of their seat, ready to go, but they're just a little scared?
Honestly, you're not going to be less scared until you just do it. I think a lot of people wait until they feel ready, and you won't ever feel ready. If you ever actually feel ready, it means you waited too long, in my opinion. So just get out
Mm-hmm.
there, do it, learn from the experience, do it better next time. And I think that's one of the things that, as heart centered and really purpose powered entrepreneurs, we know we're here to serve. We know we're here to make the world a better place. And we can only do that if we're just getting out there and doing it.
Oh, phenomenal advice. I really hope anyone listening right now will jump into one of your webinars and get the tech out of here an opportunity so they can elevate their business. Well, thanks
Yeah,
for
I think you would.
being a guest today.
Thank you so much, Holly.
All right. And if anyone wants to connect with you after this, how can they get a hold of you?
Yeah, so getthetechOutofhere.com is our website, and that's also our Instagram. So that's a great place to find us. It's also our YouTube. So youtube.com/getthetechOutofhere. All of the places. Go ahead and find us over there wherever you are on social media. And hopefully we'll see you on a workshop soon.
All right. Well, thank you for being here and listening to another Success Stories with Systeme.io. Until next
Thank
time,
you.
keep creating.